はじめまして、私はジャモーナッツです。前の仕事は米軍基地の IT マネージャーで、今の仕事はアルファボーの CEO です。アルファボーはレーザータグの会社です。レーザータグは新しい鬼ごっこです。家族とあなたも一緒に聞いてください。Facebook と YouTube を見てください。お願いします。
Feel like learning Japanese is too damn hard for you? Stop slaving away at grammar, words, and spelling. Now there's a better way to learn how to speak Japanese like a normal guy. Welcome to Terumi's podcast. Let's learn Japanese in just 2 months with Terumi's learning method.
So, Jamal-san, welcome to my YouTube channel. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
Amazing. So, Jamal-san, first of all, you did amazing introduction about you in Japanese. It was excellent. How was it? It was
It was
difficult?
kind of scary at first, but
Mhm.
keep practicing and it comes out good. So
Amazing. It's a lot of people actually, feel scared to talk in front of the camera, and also you have to speak Japanese. It was a really tough experience, but it was fun, right? What do you think?
yeah, the more you talk, the better you become, the more confidence you build, and the easier it is to kind of roll through the sentences and continue the conversation.
Exactly. The real life also the same, right? Like when the first time when you need to talk real Japanese person in front of like everyone, it's really difficult. But it's if you get used to it, it's become like a nature for sure.
So ですね。
そうですね. Exactly. All right. So Jamal-san, I mean, my listener doesn't know you at all. So can you actually share with me like who you are, basically, like where you're from, and then what do you do right now?
Sure. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. And then I joined the Navy and I came to Japan. I married my wife. We have a daughter. We have another daughter on the way.
Really?
Really,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. Um, 3 years ago during COVID, we moved back to Japan, bought a house, started a business. And then I just need to make sure that I can like speak Japanese and be a part of society here. So um, I saw the commercial with one of my friends in it, and it made sense to join the Japan Language Factory, and it's kind of helped me out. So I really appreciate you and the team and the coaches. It's been a very, very great experience. Um, really appreciate it.
So like what was actually kind of the reason you decided to live in Japan this time? It's kind of big decision for you, but what was actually the main reason that you decided to stay in Japan?
Well, there's many reasons. The primary reason was because my daughter. It's much safer here.
Mhm.
In the States, yeah, there was a lot of extra precautions we had to take, but here, not so many. Um, then it was, expanding the family, being closer to the Japanese family, also the opportunities to potentially create businesses here, the opportunities to kind of like grow and meet friends and do it in a safe environment. Um, I think the education here in Japan is a little bit better than the States. Maybe
Really?
a bit
Okay.
better. um, and the last time I was here, the people were just so awesome. It made a lot of sense to be around the friendly people who just want to have fun, hang out, just be normal people and get things done. Um, yeah.
Amazing. And so, like you mentioned that you have daughter, of course, if you want to live in the safest place, which is Japan is the safest country. But on the other side, it's the language barrier and also the culture differences is difficult for you, you know, sometimes. But also you made a great decision that you start the business in Japan, which is like in my experience, there are so many people say that they want to start something like after the retirement from military. Maybe either they want to work in Japanese company or they want to start their own business or something. There are like a lot of people actually like searching the opportunity and looking for something that they can do better and so stay in Japan longer too after they even military. So I mean, starting the up business is I mean, difficult things and also the great actually challenge. So like so far, like how is your experience? Like you know, as a business person living in Japan now.
So I can tell you that if you don't speak Japanese, it's much more difficult, much,
Mm.
much more difficult. There's some cultural things that are a lot different than the States. But I think working with the coaches, it's really helped me for the hiring process, the travel process, to establishing the business, speaking to the building managers, talking about different features of the buildings that we probably want to work with, or talking through contracts. Like all of that is so important, and not being able to speak Japanese just wasn't going to cut it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very difficult. Even going to customs and getting stuff through customs, it's a very difficult process. But with more and more Japanese, I can do it.
Amazing. So like people are curious about your business. Go, what is your business? Can you describe it? What is your business?
So uh, my business is a laser tag business. Essentially, um, there's a tagger and a sensor, and people shoot the sensors in order to play tag. It's just a new way to play tag. It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been really pushed throughout Japan. In fact, there's only probably three other companies that are doing it, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not doing it the way we're doing it. The way we're doing it is that the equipment looks real, it's lightweight, there's no uh, pain. A lot of people in Japan play airsoft, and
Yeah,
airsoft is a
it's really
projectile.
pain.
That,
For me,
that,
it's
that.
so yeah, it's so scary for me.
But our system, it's 痛くないでしょ。
Mm.
本当に温泉第一だから、it's the best system for playing with the entire family, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, after COVID, people want to get outside, have some fun, go out and play with their family, be around family, be with other people, be with their friends. This is just another way to do that.
Before the master course, what kind of actual experience you had for learning Japanese?
So I took some college courses maybe 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Um, and I bought a bunch of books. I was listening to CDs. And then I had a study group on the ship. we had, um, and then like after I left Japan, like all of that kind of stopped because Japanese wasn't the main focus anymore. And then coming
Mm.
back, it was just really difficult because the people that I work with didn't really speak Japanese. And then the Japanese people that worked at my office, they would try to help me, but I was just lagging behind with some of the Japanese. And then I was able to start accelerating it with the coaching. And then yeah, I can speak a lot better now.
Amazing. So, like you mentioned that it's you did the college course, which is a lot of people actually do, and you studied maybe hiragana, katakana. So, can you actually share with me like what was actually the college course? What did you do there?
So in the college course, they ran through the same books that I already had. It's the Japanese for Busy People. Um,
Mm.
and we also did some of the Genki books.
Mm.
And oh, my daughter's gonna go get the book now. But it was the first 100 kanji, trying to learn the kanji, and the strokes. And it was very difficult to transition from learning the textbook stuff to actually speaking. So the sentences in the textbooks weren't exactly how people speak. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, this is
Oh,
the book
yes.
that I'm studying, and then there's 3 of these series. But yeah, it was a lot of like writing and grammar, and it didn't really transition to like how people actually speak. So going out and talking to people wasn't really effective. Like I could read the street sign, but I couldn't talk about like what was going on around that street sign. So
What was actually the huge differences for you between like the textbook study that you did before versus this actually only speaking training? Like people can't believe, right? Like how you're gonna learn language without even spelling anything, only speaking and listening exercises. How was this differences and experience?
so the major difference that I noticed immediately was like a lot of the things that I would get wrong when speaking was immediately corrected. So that was one of the benefits. You don't get that direct feedback because people are so nice. They don't want to correct you when you're speaking. So you keep saying the same mistakes over and over again. And then you're not trying to like read from the book. You're actually trying to have a conversation with someone. So the give and take and ensuring that you like give the ball back to the person to speak and keep the communication going. Like that was one of the key things.
Amazing. Yeah, like in the group session, one of our students said, "What if I cannot even say it was delicious for 20 years?" Some people actually said that, like it's been so many years living in Japan, and because no one corrected them, so that's why the mistake continued next 20 years. That's so crazy. But that's actually really happening, right? Like so many actual people are facing this actual problem, right?
Yes, yes. For me, it was a lot of my daughter going to Japanese school and then correcting my Japanese, which kind of made me want to attend the course a little bit more. It kind of highlighted the fact that I needed to really up my Japanese game. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they don't really speak that much English. So for 15 years, like it's been just hi, here's a drink, like that's pretty much it. But now we can kind of have conversations about things, talk about sports, talk about the weather, talk about Aaliyah and my daughter and her school, talk about like family things, like we're going here for the summer, we're doing this for the summer, come visit us or we'll come visit you, talking about the baby that's coming. They're going to be coming to visit with us and they feel more confident just being able to express themselves with me. So it's made the family a little bit better.
Wow, that's a huge differences after 15 years of communication with them.
Yes, very, yes, very much so. So,
So like imagine like thousand of actually couple in Japan, like the wife is Japanese and then the husband is American. You have seen, right, like 100 of.
mhm,
And imagine if they have the same exactly problem like you had before, like
mhm.
15 years or 10 years, it will be really difficult to communicate. Do you have any advice to them?
If you really want to deepen your relationship with your spouse, like you have to be able to at least start the conversations in her native language. Because sometimes it's just easier for the spouse to have that communication in their native language, um, and it grows some of the trust between each other, right? Like you're not just gonna continue on with the English. You're actually gonna spend the time to invest in them and learn their language, learn their culture, and incorporate that into what you do and what your life is.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And then, before the master course, you maybe didn't really feel like you will be able to speak Japanese one day, but now you have a confidence to say even in front of a camera. So if
Yep.
somebody really difficult to believe themselves that it's, oh, I was really bad at the study, I was not going well in the college course. And if the toddler people are discouraged themselves before, like what kind of things can you say to them?
Well, what I will say is don't get too discouraged. There's always room for improvement, always room to learn. Just try a different way. Try many different ways. But speaking Japanese and like writing it's two different things. So if you can't have the conversation with somebody, it's going to be a much more difficult thing than in writing and reading. But just having that first conversation with somebody allows you to connect the culture to go into deeper conversations or into deeper meanings about things or business. You have to have those conversations. So speaking it is definitely one of the easiest ways to learn.
Are you expat living in Japan? You started living in Japan, you're super excited to communicate with locals. You can enjoy traveling, meeting people. And now you start using this textbook and you feel like, wow, that's so many. Elementary school textbook, another elementary school textbook, and how many hours should you study? Let's think one more time. In order to communicate like a normal guy, you can do everything in the basic everyday life. Should you finish all those textbooks? Otherwise, you won't understand what they're talking. You cannot express yourself, anything. First of all, there are always two ways to learn languages. One is documentational language. The other one is conversational language. It's like, once upon a time, grandmother and grandfather are living somewhere. Or, hey, what's up? How's it going? Which is conversational. What is the most effective way to learn how to speak Japanese? Textbooks can't talk to you, so you cannot improve your listening skill and pronunciation, how to communicate. So why Japanese children can speak Japanese so quickly? Because they are learning conversational Japanese. The good news is, in Japan Language Factory, we have a specific learning structure to improve your conversational Japanese. So you can join the conversation, you can understand what they're talking, you can respond quickly, and express what you are thinking. If you want to be able to speak Japanese as soon as possible, join our free consultation to figure out what is the fastest way to start speaking Japanese.